I've spent over $20 million on ads. I've made over 100 million back over my last 11 years of running ads for not just my agency, but for a bunch of clients that are doing even up to 9 figures a year in revenue. And today I'm going to show you what actually works in 2025, because look, most of the strategies online that are being pushed by these gurus, they don't run ads today. I run ads to this day. And I want to explain to you why Facebook ads work so well. You see, they are direct response, meaning that they're not just out there to get eyeballs. You are guaranteed to actually get results with direct response Facebook ads because you're putting out an offer and you're getting a conversion in return. And if you don't get that conversion, either the lead, the call, the sale, then those ads suck and they should be turned off. It's a very quick feedback cycle. And because it's a quick feedback cycle, we can gather the data to say whether it's working or not. And then as a result, we can then scale our campaigns. If I know for every dollar I'm spending, I can make $2 back at the very least, I'm going to keep increasing the budget on that, because at that stage, I have a money printing machine. And with the methodology that I have perfected over time that I like to call the infinite ad loop, I can do this predictably because I know that every time I scale the budget up, I'm going to get an inflow of booked calls that I can turn into sales, that myself or my sales team can turn into sales. And unlike with cold calling or cold email, it doesn't take a ton more effort. It's literally as simple as, if I've got the right audience to advertise to and I've got good creative, I can just keep bumping the budget up more and more. Same ads, they just do more heavy lifting. And it makes sense, right? With Facebook being one of the largest advertising platforms in the world, and it makes sense, right? With Meta or Facebook being the biggest social media platform in the world, there are a bunch of eyeballs, and there's never really going to be a stage where I completely tap out the market and say, oh, there's no one else that I can reach. There will always be someone new that fits into my ideal customer profile that wants what I have to sell. And as long as those people exist, I will continue to advertise to them, and I'll keep pushing the budget as hard as I possibly can so that I can extract the maximum amount of dollars from them to continue to grow. And even though Facebook has been around for a while, it's still this new unprecedented opportunity, because in the span of advertising as a whole, it really hasn't been around for very long. And on top of it, it's one of those industries that's constantly changing and evolving to get more and more concise and better at doing what it's meant to do, which is finding you the right audience for the cheapest cost, so you don't go to Google or TikTok or wherever instead. And the great thing about ads is that instead of trading time, you're trading capital. And there are 3 skills that are important to do this absolutely effectively. And in order to do this effectively, there are 3 skills that every advertiser must master. Impulse control. Okay, Facebook is not linear, meaning that if you have an ad that gets leads one day, it's not necessarily going to get the same amount of leads the next day. I can't tell you how many times I launched an ad, it did well for the first few days, and then all of a sudden it tanked and I turned the ads off and I wondered, why aren't the results coming in? And then lo and behold, after doing this process over and over and over again with new ads and seeing them rise and then fall almost immediately, I came to realize maybe I was just being impatient. And frankly, I just didn't have the time to continue to produce more and more creative. So I said, you know what? I know this ad is good. I'm just going to let it run. And all I did was something very, very simple that I'd never done before. And that was just let it ride. And as a result of being patient, I saw some of my ad campaigns absolutely explode. And I'm talking about them being able to gain a massive amount of momentum, all because I left it alone. It's kind of like concrete. When you put it down, you have to let it settle. And the algorithm on Facebook and it figuring out which pocket of the audience your ads need to go to, it takes time. And even if it gets the pocket right, maybe immediately or sometimes later, it can get out of that pocket and it takes time to get back in. But the thing that I had to realize was that over a long enough time horizon, my ads were actually doing well. And so it's that impulse control to be that anxious media buyer that sets the 1% apart from everyone else. Number 2, human psychology. You see, the greatest advertisers that ever lived, they understood that human psychology is at the root of persuasion, meaning that if I don't understand my demographic really well, what they want, what they don't want, what they desire, and what they actually want out of life, what they want out of a product like what I have to offer, being able to make that connection was absolutely crucial, because oftentimes we see ads out there that have this bland, are you tired of this? Are you tired of that kind of angle? And those ones just seem so freaking bland, and they seem like a copy and paste from AI or ChatGPT. And it was only after getting on a crap ton of sales calls that I actually gained the skill of understanding the psychology of my potential buyers, to the point where I could very accurately write an ad that articulated what they're seeing day to day, what they're thinking day to day, what they want day to day, what they're struggling with day to day. And so as soon as they saw those advertisements from me, someone that understood them to such a deep level, it was much easier to make conversions on Facebook. The third skill over here is structured work. You see, one of the most important things is that since I'm not actually going to networking events or getting on meetings to make deals happen, and instead, again, I'm trading my capital instead of time, I want to make sure that I'm focusing the most amount of energy into making this capital work for me. So what that looked like was structuring my days in such a way where I got the most creative output from the first part of my day, so that I wasn't draining myself with all these other tasks beforehand. And I think one of the most incredible things that I've done over my career, over the last 11 years as an advertiser, has been that I will always, when I'm about to create ads, segment at least 60 to 90 minutes, usually first thing in the day, where I have the beginner's mind to just sit down and write. Usually no screens, no freaking tablets, nothing, just completely analog, pen to paper, sitting down, thinking through the problem at hand. And the problem in this case will always be, I need to make a new ad that will sell X. So one of the most important things in my journey when I was making my first ads was realizing that ultimately I don't want to be creating ads that have all this hoopla and fluff and this extra information around story and weird crap. All I wanted to do was make a very direct offer, okay? Because if you think about it, you look at your total addressable market, think of a triangle, and the triangle represents everyone in there. And the top of the triangle, the absolute apex, those are the people that already know they're struggling with getting more business. They've tried a bunch of solutions to get more business. Nothing has worked, and they need, for example, a marketing agency. And so when you're going after those people, you can make a very direct promise to them. They don't need to be told, are you sick and tired of this? Or imagine if you had this. They just need the frickin' promise and the offer. Hey, I'm going to get you this many more clients. Hey, I'm going to get you this many more patients. Hey, I'm going to get you this many more customers every single month, month over month. If you're not happy, you're not going to pay, and I'm going to do it, by this time frame, right? Like, it's a very direct offer, a very direct promise. And that's where you start, because you can always get quick wins by using a very direct message and going after the top of the triangle, which is the people that are the most aware. Now, provided there's usually a smaller percentage of those kind of people in any demographic, right? There's obviously going to be more people out there. There's obviously going to be more people out there that don't know, for example, who I am than the people that know who I am. I have at this point, 200 and something subscribers. So the people that are the most aware in this case are the people that are subscribed to me, know who I am, and maybe even more aware would be like my freaking family members, right? There's so few of them. So this is how you think about it, right? The less of the people they are, the easier they generally are to convert into a lead and to convince to opt in. And that's where you want to go. But eventually, as you get some of those quick wins with your advertising, you want to recognize that the real money is made with the more indirect messaging, where you do get more into the pain points, the problem points, the unique issues and thoughts and worries and complaints that the prospect has as it relates to their marketing or advertising, and then you address that in your ads. That makes for a very good indirect ad that will capture a larger percentage of the audience, but it's going to be a bit of a longer sales cycle, again, because they aren't as aware of the solutions out there that exist to solve their problems, so they need more nurturing. Okay, now maybe you're wondering, what are the best kind of ads to run in 2025? All right, I want to preface this by saying that, look, success in this game of advertising does not happen overnight. It's like any other skill. It's like riding a bicycle. It's like learning to drive, or whatever it is that you will, training jiu-jitsu, right? This stuff has levels to it. And if you are here right now, you're absolutely in the right place, because start where you're at and try to get quick wins, like with the direct ads that I mentioned. But realistically, understanding that, look, people don't change. Also, you can't create desire where it doesn't exist. So why am I saying these two things? People don't change. You can't create desire. So realistically, people's desires don't change. What we're doing as advertisers is we're just channeling desire that already exists. We're not making up something new. We're not reinventing something like, oh, do you all of a sudden want a freaking spaceship? That's so fringe. You're going there and you're saying, hey, this is a desire that you've had, that you want, you haven't been able to fulfill. I can help you get it. Here's how. Here's this new thing that's going to bring you hope, for example, right? That's the point of advertising, is to generate demand for them to fulfill a desire that they've already had for a while. And you just happen to come along and have something that grabs their attention, keeps their attention, and gives them at least a small glimmer of hope that for once they'll finally be able to change this. And so then that's why they click through, that's why they convert, that's why they get on the call with you. And then it's your job at that point to actually make the sale, or your sales team's job to close the sale. And so realistically, how quickly can you start making money from ads? The truth is that it could be as quick as 1 week. It could be as slow as 3 months, right? The biggest thing about this is the whole process of why ads are even successful in the first place are contingent on two things. How good are your sales skills and how great is your business model? A lot of people want to put an inordinate amount of pressure on advertising to be this magic wand that when they swing it, it just results in profits like hand over fist. This is something that just literally starts flooding our business with new cash month over month. But what about how good you are at sales? What about how good you are at retaining clients? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Those two buckets of how good you are at sales and how great you are at retaining clients, there's an entire wealth of information that could be shared on how to get better at all those things. Yet we focus so hard on the metrics with advertising, like what's my CTR, what's my CPM, what's my audience that I'm running to, why am I getting unqualified leads? And it's like, damn, bro, the best sales organizations out there, when they're actually turning ads into quick wins, they've already got a dialed in sales process. And they've already got a great product. And they're not putting all this pressure on the ad to produce like $5 leads and appointments for $15, and that's what success is as a benchmark. That's ridiculous, right? That's absolutely ridiculous. The companies that actually end up winning with advertising, the companies that end up winning, not just for a short period of time, but long term with advertising, know that on the lifespan of these clients, they're just going to make so much money that even if they have to spend $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 to acquire a client, they're chilling. And if that's your benchmark for how much you can spend to acquire a client, and if what you're selling will allow you to make, gosh, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 back when you spend, say, $1,000 or $2,000, then you're in a good spot because you can make that 2 times cash collected. So the idea of winning quickly is entirely predicated on how much a client means to you and how much you're willing to spend to acquire them. So naturally, if you have 2 people, they're both running the same ad to the same offer, but the one charges $1,000 for it, and the other one for the exact same thing charges $5,000. By the time person 1 has spent $500, they're already nervous. Person 2 hasn't even budged. They're like, yeah, I could literally spend 3x this, and if I acquire a client, I'm good. So you can see how in order for person 1 to win, dude, they're putting a lot of pressure on the advertising to be perfect. And person 2 is just looking to advertising to at least generate the demand, get them on the call, and then they'll close the deal. And they'll make money on the back end. And all they're looking for at the very least is a 2x cash collected. In many ways, my thing is, look, if I can get you a 2x cash collected up front, you're in a good spot. If I can get you in front of someone for, say, $300 to $500 in terms of a phone call, you're doing really good. And a lot of people don't want to necessarily hear this because they want to believe the whole $20 a lead, $80 a lead, and then just see these vanity metrics. But the metric that actually matters at the end of the day is cost per acquisition. That is the king. If your cost per acquisition is in KPI, nothing, and I repeat, nothing else matters. I have campaigns that are bringing in $80 leads, but the cost per acquisition is like $980, $1,200. Still not bad, but then I have some ads that are bringing in leads at $250 a lead, $300 a lead, not a call, but they're closing at like a $500 cost per acquisition, $600 cost per acquisition. Why? Because Facebook is putting me in front of the right people. And I can't just judge an ad based off of its cost per lead. There's more to it. So if you want to win, learn to read data. Learn to see the actual story the ads are telling you, not for a 1-day cycle or a 7-day cycle. Look at things over a longer time horizon, like a 14-day, like a 30-day cycle. And then realize, dude, I'm actually doing pretty well because, gosh, Closing deals doesn't happen in one call all the time. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 calls. Sometimes it takes a few weeks for someone to come around. People ghost you sometimes. You see, there's so much nuance to this, and everyone wants to be able to put $1 in, and they're like, oh, like, I haven't been able to get my freaking dollars back, and I'm going to turn my ads off, and ads don't work. Also, when it comes to launching new offers, my principle is that I'm willing to spend at least $5,000 to $10,000 before I actually figure out if this is working or not, right? That's my level of tolerance that I have. Because again, I'm looking at things at a long enough time horizon, and I'm making sure that the ads that I'm running, I give them room to breathe. Because look, I put in a ton of time to create the ads, the landing page, the thank you page, and all that good stuff. There's no way that I'm just going to throw all of that away because, 1 week or 2 weeks were bad. I'm going to commit a pretty significant amount of upfront budget to just test and make sure that the offer, the way that I've articulated it to the demographic that I want to go after, that they're responsive. And I don't even need to see crazy profitability for that first $5,000 to $10,000. I just need to see vital signs. And once I have data, I can always optimize in the right direction. And that's exactly how I was able to scale to $2 million. Have 3 sales reps, have over 100 clients, 20 people on my team, closing 15 plus deals a month, 1 every 2 days. That's because I was patient. I understood that I wanted to make ads that appeal to human psychology. I focused in on being creative and making sure that I was putting out advertising that was unique and different. And ultimately, I wasn't chasing vanity metrics. I was chasing cash collected. I was chasing a system that could consistently get me in front of people that were in my demographic and had intent. I don't care what they were making in annual revenue. All I wanted was those 2 things. And when those 2 things exist, it's my job to make sure that I help them see that what they're getting is basically a huge asset at a massive discount. They're getting a Ferrari essentially for $10,000 or $5,000. They're getting something incredible at a huge discount. And it's the same mentality that I've been able to inject into multiple 7 and 8 figure businesses and some massive billion-dollar brands that generate thousands of leads every single day. So why don't you go ahead and comment your situation below as it pertains to paid ads, and I'll respond to everyone with exactly how I'd approach scaling up on Facebook. I hope this is helpful. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.